All right, so I'm here with Will from Mooroopna Secondary College, and he has stepped up to the role of stage manager for Grease. So I just want to have a chat to you about what it's been like stepping into that role for this production. So what do you normally do in school shows?
Normally I'm a musician in the pit, so I play trombone. So most of the shows I've done have been down in the orchestra pit.
Down in the orchestra pit.
This is the first time I've really been upstage and involved up here.
Yeah, so how come you decided to take on the role of stage manager for this show?
Yeah, someone needed to, really.
It's always the way, isn't it, for teachers? Because basically there's jobs that have to be filled, isn't there? And so coming into stage managing the show, had you had any experience with that kind of thing before?
No.
None at all?
So it's the first time I've been on crew even.
Oh, wow.
That side of it.
Yeah. So what surprised you about this role? What came along that was a bit unexpected?
It was a lot more, I guess, it's involved, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I find, like, the biggest thing for me was delegation. And as a teacher, that's not what I do. Especially in a country school, you just end up doing everything. Like when I came here, I came in as a classroom music teacher and taught some trombone. And now I'm teaching drums, guitar, piano, teaching humanities, teaching whatever they throw at me, and then doing stuff like this, being asked to do, well, putting my hand up to do stage management. So I think what surprised me the most is how hard it wasn't. It was just another role that I picked up, and well, if I remained calm about it, I wasn't gonna stress. Yeah.
And I mean, you've done an amazing job. We've been so impressed with how because it's not an easy show, the one that we're doing. There's a lot going on stage. There's, we're using a fly tower, we've got a full orchestra, we've got a full lighting design with moving lights, and the set moves around. What else? We've got confetti falling from the ceiling. So you're dealing with all those things, and as someone who's not stage managed a show before, it was actually really impressive. So what kind of tools did you use to set that up? How did you do your paperwork? How did you set that up so that you were so clear and focused during the show?
I think just having a prompt script there that just had absolutely everything I needed at every point that I needed it. It really just came down to that fine organisation. So having going through the script, knowing when I should be having a prompt ready for someone, doing all the standbys, that was probably the hardest bit, understanding where I should be putting that sort of stuff, especially for different things. Like I know flyers need probably a lot more time than, say, the lighting would.
Just pressing a button,
Yeah.
Yeah. So explain what you mean by standby, because some people might not even know that term.
So when I'm putting something on standby, it means I'm about to make a call for something that's about to happen. So say for the lights, to use the terminology and say standby LX 32, which means that up at the lighting desk, they've got programmed in a 32 number. And they'll change the light state to what's needed for that particular scene. So then I'll usually do that probably about 3 or 4 lines before that would happen for the lights, and then I'll call LX32 go, and then up there they press the button, all the lights would change.
Alright, let's do it. LX61 go.
So before, say, a fly, if I need to get that ready, like a scream coming in, a smother coming in, I would give them a lot more time to get ready, because especially with this stage, on the fly side is very minimal space.
Yeah, right.
And especially if cast are waiting to go and they're in the way, having that extra time to move them is a lot more necessary.
Yeah, and see, it's so awesome hearing you just, use all the terminology, like you've just jumped
that I
straight
learned
in.
last week.
I know. This is the thing, I mean, teachers are, you're already dealing with so much at school, so this is just a different language, different terminology, and now you just reel it off. And gosh, what else do I want to know? I mean, I know for me, I find stage management challenging because you do have to manage all those competing priorities. And like you said, for me, I really believe in the prompt script as well. And we had a serious prompt script. Like we had every detail in there from, literally everything that happened on stage is in that one book. So when you're calling the show, do you stand right by the book the whole time? You don't sort of move away from that?
I try to.
Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't had an instance where I need to be up and about during the show. Getting away from the prompt script, I've got good crew and I've got good people around me to help manage that when I need it.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess that was the other thing I found challenging, was being able to trust that.
Right. So how did you go about making sure that, because we're mostly using students as our crew, so how did you go about making sure that they were ready to do the tasks that were required of them during the show?
Apart from just rehearsing them through those steps, like we usually have a little meeting before we start, and I'll have my own particular set of notes just for them, apart from what's happening like with the director's notes as well. So we'll go through that, things I've noticed that aren't happening to where I would like them to be at, but also a lot of positive things, like you know, you did this really well, keep doing that, that's what I need for that to happen. So I think
It's a lot of communication and feedback, isn't it?
that's all I really need, is on knowing where everyone is at a particular time. If I know that, it's just very easy at that point. And I do have a good crew who are they're fairly, not so much independent, they've got a good initiative, they know, and they know the show well enough now that they will get up and they will just do something to have it all ready to go without really me hounding them on the other side and going, you got this ready, you got this ready, you got this ready.
Yeah, so it really is about that delegation, isn't it?
Yeah, and at the start I was a bit more talking to the assistant stage manager on the side, going, all right, is this ready, is this ready to go? But and then I cut that out during the show, and he has remembered all that, which has been very nice.
Yeah, it's great skills development for them as well. What's the experience like of using the communication system for the theatre? Because I know you're calling through to the dressing rooms to remind the students to come on stage. So how's that been for you?
Well, it's been fine, except for the first part where it wasn't actually patched through to the back, so that was pretty funny. So I've got me in the comms doing announcements there, and they're like, oh, we haven't heard anything. It's like, but they were hearing up at the desk, so they didn't understand why nothing was happening. So got that solved pretty quickly. But I find that, they're trained well enough now that they're responsive to that. Usually making sure that everyone I know should be on comms is on comms. So I always do that before we start a show. Just that quick comms check, get everyone to confirm, which is good. But also, something I've had to learn is, you know, I don't have to get up and do that anymore. And I did get a bit used to going, like, you have to. I'm a person who goes around and talks to people. I don't so much like calling them or typing to them. I'd rather talk to them face to face. But I guess with the comms, it is kind of more like face to face. It's very immediate response.
And the thing is, I mean, you're like the nerve center of the show, so you have to be at your position so that everything else can kind of rotate around you.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Like, seeing all this stuff going on around you, good or bad, and knowing that you can't leave that seat until the interval. And you have to trust that everything you've delegated is going to happen, and I'm lucky because it is happening.